I hosted students from Norway at the studio, and they're just come to, they're exploring Kenyan culture, and just me hosting them to engage them in just what I do was also like, it just took us like international, from one scope to another. And now it made me realize like, I am really doing something it's in me. It's my ikigai. I call it my ikigai. So just, if God just comes and asks me, okay, what are you using your talent to do, or what's your purpose, I will definitely have an answer.
It is awesome. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of The Millionaire Mind. My name is Turife, and joining us today we have Rehema. How are you, Miss Rehema?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to have a very interesting conversation with you, especially given the fact that you deal with a very creative side of business. But before I get ahead of myself, you could always tell us what you think about the show and your comments and any questions you have for Miss Rehema on the number 0770-729-366. Now let's get into it. Please introduce yourself and what you do, and don't leave anything out.
Okay, so my name is Rehema Njoroge, though most people call me as Ray or Rehema Njoroge. I'm the creative arts development practitioner. That means I engage in promoting skill development, creative development, just nurturing talent in kids and adults, and also revolving just the field of creativity, even in workspaces, because we all need this. So the main thing is I use art as the intervention. When we say art, mine is the visual arts, so the paintings, the drawings, the multimedia crafts, so that's my intervention in promoting creative development. And my focus is kids and adults. So I run a studio in Thika. It's a creative art studio. And it's like a community based, so they're being in a hood, the kids come, or just anyone who wants to come and have some free time to explore, to express, that I just engage them there.
Okay, so how did you find yourself in this line of business? Because it sounds very creative, it sounds very artsy, it sounds like something, you would do for fun, but you're in the business aspect of it. How did you find yourself and realize that this is actually something that can make money for me?
Wow. So when I was doing my high school, that time I really didn't venture into art. It was just like a hobby. So anytime the girls there at Kahuhia, they would come and explore the art activities. But then I was just indulging in home science. But then once I completed, I wanted to venture in computer engineering, meaning I had to do well in maths, physics, chemistry, and biology. But physics didn't do well for me, and that was quite out of the norm because I wasn't so used to. So I just had to do like a plan B, So my plan B now was getting into the creative arts bits. So I just had to enroll into Kenyatta University. But even before that, because my dad then wanted me to do pharmacies or just nursing, so I just had to do it chini ya maji, just for him to pay for me.
It's a similar story to most people who grew up in an African household, where the only conventional careers going around are you're a doctor, lawyer, engineer, something with medicine, or you're flying planes. So I totally get where you're coming from.
So that like being the lineage of the cousins and relatives, they are in the nursing and all. So but for me, I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't just sit down and look at a patient or just blood oozing and they're injecting people. That wasn't my thing. So when he took his measures and decided to go for and apply for me at KMTC for pharmacy or nursing, I took the other way around. I just reached out to the Kenyatta University people and UON, and by then he didn't get any feedback, but for me I got feedback from the two unis, and he had no option but just to pay. So for me was to choose between UON and KU, and since KU was the one that offers the best in fine arts, so I got enrolled in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one direction where your career is taking up, especially when you factor in the schools you've gone to.
Yes.
But now what you're doing now as a career is a complete contrast.
Yeah.
So how did you find yourself opening your company, which is Smarties?
Smarty Mind.
I do, yes, Smarty Minds.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find yourself in this specific career doing this specific thing when clearly your educational background is in a completely different area?
So back then, once I completed my uni in KU, I got an internship to work with an international designer. That's Penny Winter, and that it was like a mentorship kind of thing. So I got absorbed from an intern to an assistant designer. So like learning the business aspect of it, and still by the time still we were in KU, there are these guys who were coming from US. They wanted like fine artists to come and engage kids and adults in talent camps. So I got the whole like induction kind of thing of, you know, you can do this, you can engage kids, you can do it as a hobby, and you can still engage it in as a business. Yeah. So that is how I got it, like, you know, I can just do it besides the fun bits. Yeah, I can do it for as a business perspective. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what specifically does your business offer? What are the services you offer? Because you have mentioned I provide a space for people to just be creative.
Yes.
And I work with adults and also work with children.
Yeah.
But what are the specifics of your business? Because creativity is a whole spectrum of different things. You could be talking about from music to design, as you've talked about. So what exactly do you do?
So exactly my point of interaction is offering creative art workshops or programs. Yeah. So when you say programs, is they cut across, like when we are targeting like school kids, this is like a teaching perspective. Yeah, they need to know how to understand the rules and basics of art. You know, like now we are doing the CBC. The CBC really needs professionals who understand the fine art in depth, not just the teaching bit, so that you can help even kids nurture their talents, their strengths, even though they won't use it like in life, like a career, but still we need this even in the solving issues, making decisions. You know, so the projects that I engage them in, they help them know how to address certain issues in their lives. Yeah. So besides the children bit, I also engage the adults, like in workspaces. So you find like organization would want an art person who knows how to promote creativity in promoting concepts, you know, like idealization on how they're going to solve this issue, or making decisions, or just coming up with innovative ways of. So just unlocking that bit needs a lot of programming. Yeah. So that's how I come in. So either the workshops, mostly people call them workshops, or you can call them programs, but it's so like learner based. Yeah. Other than just coming and sitting down, I'll come with my practical bit and engage you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what you do is clearly very niche. It's very specific.
Yeah.
How do you put yourself out there? You know, because in this age of social media and technology, it's very easy for you to create your content online and just post it and hope for the best. It reaches your demographic, or there's enough engagement for you to have like a return on what you've put out there. But at the same time, there's that aspect of I need to vigorously put myself out there, because this is not something people just go out looking. It's like bread and milk.
Yeah.
I'll go to the supermarket, I'll find this at a specific place. So how, as a business, do you put yourself out there? And you do have a big target audience. You have children, and then you also have working adults. How do you just put yourself out there and say, hey, this is what I offer, are you interested?
Yeah. So this really needs a lot of thinking. Yeah. So my first approach was identifying a title that would put me out there, like me specifically, and just getting out there, researching. I couldn't find any, so I just said, let me just come up with mine. And I came up with the creative arts practitioner, or creative arts development practitioner. So I was much specific on the art and development, because these are my modes of engagement. So even when you want to search like someone like me, just putting out the creative arts development practitioner, it will, like when you do it on LinkedIn, it always like brings out some of these profiles. Yeah. So that was the first bit. And then the second bit is I have enrolled in different engagements, like leadership. I've done behavioral intelligence, and I've done psychology. So when we engage in like a mental health space, yeah, so we need creative arts persons who know how to use art as a therapeutic means of promoting mental health. So when I target the adult space, so when we are interacting, I tell them, okay, I have some bits of psychology, you know, I can do this and that for your workspace, or people who need just stress management and all. So still when I'm meeting people like in leadership spaces, since I understand how the leadership like works out, I am an alumni of Emerging Leaders Foundation Africa, and I've learned on the leadership and entrepreneurship bits. So when I engage them, for them their mantra is value-based leadership. So I need to show how is my input value can be of value to them. Yeah. Same case when you're interacting with people on behavior, like they want to promote good behavior in schools, you know, they want to promote healthy relationships in different type of foods. Yeah. So it's just how I interact with people, and I tell them, okay, I've done this and this and this. There's a way we can collaborate. Yeah. Just using the mechanisms in just creative arts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have mentioned mental health.
Yeah.
And a bit of psychology.
Yeah.
And I do understand that these days sometimes, you know, anyone can be a mental health specialist.
Yeah.
We've even seen people as famous as Jay Shetty being called out and being told, I don't think you were actually ever qualified to give out the advice you were giving out. So given how we're now becoming skeptical of anyone who'd want to offer us specialized help when it comes to mental health, even in the workplace. It's a lot when you're trying to navigate office politics, just your own personal problems coming into the workplace, your relationships with your co-workers. Just that is a lot, and it really needs like a professional person to come in and do it. So now, how do you prove to your clients that, hey, listen, I can offer these services? How do you say that I am qualified to give you advice and to just help you out, especially when it comes to mental health, which is a very critical thing across the board with children and even with adults?
So in such scenarios, you find like for my case, I need to collaborate with a clinician who really understands like a specified issue that has been tabled out, and then they would need someone who uses like art as a media of therapy. Yeah, so that's where the art therapy comes in. So after, it's just like how you see doctors, they need a prescription. Yeah, the pharmacists too, they need a prescription from the doctor, the kind of medicine you need. I also need to see what the clinicians may have talked about in your workspace, so that for me to come in and just give out my inputs using with it painting, you know, you cannot just use any kind of tool without understanding the established needs. Yeah, because sometimes it can be like a trigger. You know, you come in to use red paint and it triggers someone. You know, like you need to really understand. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what would you say are the things that have really stood out for you? Because you have been in the industry for a hot minute. From 2015 to date is a really long time.
Yeah.
So what, in your own personal experience, is something that just stood out for you and you're like, yeah, this is something that's working for me?
So I think The first thing that stood out for me was establishing a physical location. Yeah, because
Growth.
that was growth, and you can imagine from like all that time from 2015 to 2023, that was last year. Yeah, because all that time I was just doing the freelance kind of bit, and then you find people asking, okay, where can we find you? Where can we find you? And you know, when you establish a physical setup, it really needs a lot of capital. Yeah, so for me, getting the grant to just support what I do from Women in Africa, since I was just part of their Jamie Film initiative, that was quite something outstanding. And even before even establishing the physical setup, I had also engaged with the Women in Africa earlier, doing a master class on intellectual property in creativity and innovation, just targeting creative women in the creative industry. Yeah, and that was during the International Women's, no, that was the Innovation Week, yeah, the World Innovation and Creativity Week, yeah. So those two moments were quite outstanding, and I think after establishing yourself what you do, things just, you know, they just pop up. Yeah, so the latest one was in early February. I hosted students from Norway at the studio, and they just come to, you know, they're exploring Kenyan culture, and just me hosting them to engage them in just what I do was also like, it just took us like international, yeah, from one scope to another. And now it made me realize, like, yeah, I am really doing something it's in me. It's my ikigai. I call it my ikigai. So just, if God just comes and asks me, okay, what are you using your talent to do, or what's your purpose, I will definitely have an answer.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And you have mentioned, you know, foreign students coming into the country.
Yeah.
Have we had the opportunity of taking Kenyan students, or rather Kenyan people from your art space to other countries?
That's an opportunity that I'm looking out to, because right now I am always receptive to collaborations, but mostly value-based, because I have indulged in so many collaborations that sometimes don't work out. So right now I'm very specific. So even when I engage people, like just the other day I was talking to some potential collaborators in the UK, just telling them this is what we do, can we work together in seeing how we can, you know, grow, yeah. Also understanding that we are just a community setup, yeah. So how can we move from one step to another? So that's still on the table, and I'm looking forward to see how it will come up.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a very inspiring journey, starting from just a simple setup to you having now a physical location, to you now even having foreign, you know, people from other countries coming to your center and just learning about the Kenyan culture. But also at the same time, I believe there are challenges you've experienced. While I was reading up on you, there was a mention of you shutting down from 2018 to 2021. So what exactly happened, you know, in between that time period? Or rather, what would you say are some of the challenges you experience while doing what you do?
Wow. So that time I took, that was in 2016, I took a maternity leave because I had my son, yeah. So that time I needed to like decide, okay, what do I want, yeah. But still, if in the middle of thinking what I wanted, my partner then didn't want me to just leave our son to a house help. So I really needed to decide, and that led me to having to give up my job at the Penny Winter, the jewelry company. And lucky enough, they gave me like a 1-year break just to hold up, bring up your son, we'll give you time, you can always come back. So when I was ready to get back, I just couldn't, because there was no that kind of supportive venture. Yeah, you need to go back and you can do this. So I had to take the 2-year break and said I need to just hold back from my career until my son is stable enough. So in case I just decide to take him to maybe a childcare center, he can always come back and tell me, okay, mommy, this happened, and if I'm comfortable enough to let him go or not, then that was it. So in between that's what happened. And I realized, like, after the 2-year break, I needed now to get back in full state. So at that time, in 2021, after now the 2-year kind of break ended, I involved myself in a leadership forum. That's the Emerging Leaders. Though previously I wanted to do a scholarship in masters for the art therapy, but I missed it with like an inch. So I just said, okay, God has just a way of doing his thing. So the leadership came in and I had to take it. And since then, I just decided to come up with ways of self-development. So that was just it. Yeah. And since 21, it's like been, I need to work on myself. I need to kind of recover what I didn't get during the 2-year break, and I need to, make this work for me. Yeah.
And allow me to just ask this and to just intrude for a minute. But would you say, as a woman in business, specifically as a woman in business, it is a bit unfair, the expectation of balancing a work life and your personal life and being a mother altogether? Because from your experience, it comes from, I had to give up one to sustain the other. But also at the same time, you open a television and we're talking about women empowerment, we could do it all. So did you feel that pressure, and did you feel as if it was a bit unfair that, I had to give up something that my partner did not have to give up?
Yeah, at some point I felt like I wasn't ready to take a break, because you're just from uni, you're trying to build yourself up, and now you have to give up something that you were really not ready for. But trying to see how I would juggle, I just had to let it go. So I felt it wasn't fair, because you need to have support in one way or another.
Good support system.
Yeah, you need to have a good support system, because at the end of the day, you're coming together to support your family, you grow together and all that. So but anyway, I just had to do it, because that's just had to make sure that at least my son is stable enough, so that he would even when he's old enough, I wouldn't say like, I wish I did this yet. I had a choice. Yeah. So I think for women, it's quite challenging, but they have to. It is what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And now, apart from that, can you just tell us what inspires you? Because even when you're taking this hiatus from business, you still had these things that was motivating you and nagging at you. I need to get back. I need to do this. There's this dream I need to achieve. So what would you say are the things that really inspire you to stay true to your art form, to always show up every day to work? Because it's not easy, especially when you have all of these responsibilities around you. What inspires you to just wake up every day and do what you do?
There's so many things. So first, I start with, okay, you remember how you had to do the Chini ya Maji application just to get to, the UN, I mean the KU thing, yeah? So that was just one. There's no way I'm going to just give up, knowing how I had to, talk to my daddy and tell him, no, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this, yeah? And still at that time, I had to enroll for a help to just support my education at that moment. So knowing that you're still going to pay, whether you're working whether you're working or not, you still have to pay. So that was still a motivator. And understanding that my son still looks up to me, he's taken up the artistic side of it. So he enjoys doing what I do. When I engage with the kids, he's there. It's like molding him. So I think even when he's out there, and I would ask him, okay, please come and engage the kids before I'm taking a small break, you know, just do 1, 2, 3 things. And he's quite comfortable. So at the end of the day, I say it's either me or me. You know, I have no option. Yeah, I have just to do it because it's what makes me. Yeah, it's like what makes my clock tick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so good. And what would you say? How do you stay relevant in the market now? Because there are so many people who are delving into the arts, who are delving into creative careers, who are using social media to leverage themselves. We've seen businesses go viral overnight, and you can't really tell who will go viral or who will get the engagement that they need. But, you know, what makes you stand out? How do you make sure that the innovativeness and the creativity that I'm putting out, and I'm still staying competitive at the same time in the market? It's quite difficult to do. So how do you make sure that, you know, I'm at the top of mouth when somebody wants to think of something that I'm doing?
So one of the foremost thing is continuous learning. Yeah, you know, you have to evolve as the trends are evolving. Yeah, right now technology is like taking the center stage. It's like everything. Yeah. So the other day, my dad just accepted. You know, he stopped asking me, okay, what do you do? What is this? Yeah, he totally now understands. Yeah. So he was here at the studio some like 2 days back. He was like, wow, I love this. So can you just add some tech into it so that you know you can just be you know, you can be in trend with with everyone else. So technology, I've embraced technology, and in line with that, I am taking a course on artificial intelligence just to know how I can, you know, other than just having the kids here, how can I integrate that technology bits in the tech space? Yeah. So besides the continuous learning, it's having a value proposition, like why am I doing this? Yeah. Why should I engage this person and not the other person? So clients so much really want to see value in what you give, and as the kids come, as the adults come, they want to see that they are learning something. Yeah. So borrowing the mantra from the emerging leaders, the value-based leadership, I just ensure that everything I offer has value. They can see this growth in it. Yeah. And when even kids come and tell me, wow, I did this, I didn't even ask mommy to show me, I just did it. Yeah. So that contributes. Besides that, I also emphasize on being focused. Yeah, because other than, you know, the market is like all over. Yeah, it's so easy to be disrupted by what's going on. So you need to have focus, and focus is mostly achieved by knowing your mission and your vision. Yeah. So when I stay true to what I do, then that makes me stand out. And just being authentic. I am me. I like doing me. You know, just don't come and say no. Ati, so like I'm so used to when people see me, they're like, oh, I thought you were so huge and you know, like yeah, I am me. You see, that's why I come in, because I am unique. I am authentic. I am, you know. So when you engage, you even see, wow, you know. You don't have to impact others because of how you look, just what you offer, that makes the difference.
Thank you so much, Rehema.
Yeah.
You are very impactful in what you do, and we hope that you continue to do what you do, that you do not get tired at all, because it's very good work that you're doing. And yeah, we hope for the best. Where can people find you on social media and also physically?
So physically, they can always come to Thika. So Thika, we are in Goingwa Estate. So along there, they can always find out through our numbers. Like, can I offer my number?
Yes, please.
So that's 0784 194 103.
Okay.
Yeah. And still on social media, we are on Instagram. That is _SmartyMe or Facebook SmartyMe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Rehema. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from her. She is doing God's work and she's also being creative while she's at it. My name is Turi Fain. Until next Thursday, goodbye.